everyone. Today's talk is about navigating depressive episodes with self compassion, basically finding some light in the darkness. So, I'm sure all of us are quite familiar with having a depressive episode. Some of us have them more often than others. And so today I would like to really dive into this topic, a topic that is quite confrontational, a topic that we don't like to talk about and that we often hide. But so many of us actually do have to deal with depressive episodes. And basically, these are moments when the world around us seems to be crashing. It seems to darken, and we don't know what to do. We feel engulfed in a sort of an overwhelming sadness. Now, it's actually very important to recognize that experiencing these depressive episodes is absolutely normal, and it's a part of our journey in life, and it's all about how we actually handle the situation. It's also crucial to learn how to navigate through them with, I would say, a lot of self-compassion and a lot of grace. And I think probably also a fair amount of resilience. And resilience is something that we learn to build. So basically in this discussion, as usual, I like to share some tools and some insights on how to cope when you find yourself in one of those darker periods of life, when you feel like there's nothing you can do, you feel terrible, you feel overwhelmed, and really, I find personally that it's all about self-acceptance and self-compassion, and basically the gentle care that you would offer a best friend. It's turning that care onto yourself. And this is something that we find extremely difficult to do. We can look after everyone else, but we always put ourselves last. True that. I also want to emphasize the importance of reaching out to loved ones. Do not stay completely alone and isolated. It's important to find someone trustworthy that you can share your feelings with, because that way you can actually ensure your safety during these very challenging times. Yeah, it's not an easy subject to talk about. It's very personal to me, and it is something that I really would like to talk about, not just this one time, but I'd like to delve into deeper. So in my personal conviction is that depression is not something that we can completely heal from, but it's something that we learn to understand, and as time goes on, we actually manage it better with each episode. It's basically a journey towards self-discovery, very much so. Self-discovery and self-care. Again, that word, self-care, such an important word. And so, from a very sort of personal experience point of view, I'm here to offer you a list of practical tips and strategies that, you know, can hopefully help you, can provide you with some, you know, much needed relief during one of those episodes. Yeah, I'm really hoping that this is something that you will find really helpful, and that will give you some much needed relief during these moments. So basically, you know, some of the things that have worked for me have been from journaling to enjoying a comforting moment with my pets. As you all know, I'm a big cat lover, a big dog lover, but you know, each step will actually take you closer to becoming more resilient, and also will take you closer to understanding better what makes you fall into one of those episodes, and how to shorten those episodes, and how to keep yourself as safe as possible. So, shall we do it? Shall we talk about it? Okay. Darkness. It can be overwhelming. It can hit you when you least expect it. You can get triggered. Something that someone does, something you see on the television, something that happens at work, something in the news. It can really make you trip into darkness. And I want to teach you how to find some light, how to switch on some light in those very challenging times. So, the first thing I'd like to share, the first tool, is that you should actually fully embrace self-acceptance and self-compassion. So what that means is that when the heavy clouds of depression roll in, it's actually vital to remind yourself that it is going to be okay, and it's okay not to feel okay. You need to embrace it. Embrace self-care, embrace self-acceptance, acknowledge that you are feeling a little bit fragile at the moment, and don't feel guilty about it. You know, you should have basically self-acceptance and self-compassion as your guiding principles. All you need to do is basically imagine that you are talking to your best friend, and you imagine that your best friend is going through an episode of depression. What would you do? Would you be highly critical of them? Or would you encourage them to nurture themselves? Would you nurture them? Well, you actually need to say to yourself what you would say to them. So you need to turn this around and actually give yourself the care, the compassion, the kindness, the understanding that you usually keep for others. We are such weird creatures, aren't we? We just, it's like if there was a cake, we are giving every single slice away and keeping nothing for ourselves, or a tiny little smidgen. Or we need to actually sometimes eat our cake. Now, the second thing you should also do when you are into one of those depressive episodes is reach out to loved ones. You need to remember that you do not actually have to face those episodes alone. Reaching out to loved ones, whether it's a family member, a spouse, or a friend, preferably a close friend, they often say that a burden shared is a burden halved, and I really believe in that. And if you feel like you don't have anyone that you can reach out to, reach out to your therapist, because really sharing your feelings might really lighten your load. It'll lighten at least the emotional load, and hopefully it will provide you with a safe place to vent and valuable support. And I'm the worst for this, because I like to push everyone out and kind of barricade myself, but I have learned that I need to reach out, even just one trusted person. And really, I've learned that these connections are actually lifelines in the storm of my life. Another very, very, very important thing is that you must obviously prioritize your safety. That should always be a top priority. If you ever find yourself in a place where you're afraid for your well-being, please reach out. Reach out to a trusted friend. Reach out to a support number immediately. Very, very important. Important to remember that you are precious, and there are people who really deeply, genuinely care about you, and who want to be holding your hand in the storm of life that you are experiencing right now. People that really, value you and worry about you and care deeply about your safety and your happiness. Yeah. Another very important thing is that you actually need to understand depression. Don't just think, I just want to heal. So what I mean by that, it's really quite important to acknowledge that depression may not be something that you necessarily heal from. So definitely not in the traditional sense of the word. Instead, it's more like something that you get to know better each time, and not just know better, but actually understand and manage better with each episode. There's a lesson in every episode, and you should, or I probably shouldn't say you should, I'll say I will look at each episode as an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for resilience, and an opportunity for deeper connection with myself. Heavy stuff, hey? It sure is. Now, I'd like to give you, because I want to make this talk short, not too long. So I'd like to actually give you some practical coping strategies. That's something I like to do in each of my talks, is actually not just talk about something, but actually share helpful, strategies that have helped me personally. And these strategies should hopefully help you navigate depressive episodes. And you might hate some of these. You might hate all of them, but find something that will help you. So for me, some of the things are journaling, so basically writing down your thoughts and feelings, because that can actually be incredibly therapeutic, because what it actually does is it allows you to release all your pent-up emotions onto paper and actually gain insight into your mental state. So it's a very, very good thing to do. And it's really interesting also to, later on, go back and read and see, oh my God, that's how I felt then, but I don't feel like that anymore. I feel great now. Another strategy that I personally use is what I call music therapy. I've got a playlist of songs that uplift me. So not sad songs. This is not the time for sad songs. It's got to be uplifting ones, because music is incredible. It really has a unique ability to soothe, to inspire, even, in your darkest moments. So that's something that I personally use. Another big one is self-care rituals, and those can come in many forms. It really depends what you personally enjoy. It could be a warm bath with some lovely smelling things and candles. It could be organizing for a facial or body massage. It could be, going for a walk in the rain, if that's your thing. A walk by the river, on the beach, even, a cup of herbal tea, or even a gentle yoga session. All those things can really work wonders. And a very unusual one for me, I would say, is actually going to the gym. I really, really, really love going to the gym, and it really gets my endorphins going. And so if I feel down, I definitely make sure that I continue my gym regime. So another thing is what I called furry friend therapy. If you love, animals, cats, dogs, just having them and stroking them is quite unbelievable. It's amazing. It really is amazing. It just provides immense support, immense comfort. Yeah, I can't even explain it, but for me it's amazing. They do say that it really stroking a cat reduces your blood pressure, or lowers your blood pressure. Another thing as well to be very careful of is that when you are in one of those episodes, you really need to stick to some really good boundaries, and you need to prioritize yourself, and you need to say no to everything that takes it out of you. So you really need to think about your own well-being, and you absolutely should decline any additional stress. It's not the time to host a dinner party, unless you absolutely adore that, but I can't imagine anyone adoring it when they're having an episode. And then another really, really good thing to do is outsourcing tasks. So it is the time when you should not hesitate about asking for outside help. Um, Anything that feels too heavy to handle alone is something that you should ask help for. And that can be friends, family members who are willing to lend a hand, or even, get a cleaner in to do your house if that's not something you usually do. Get a cleaner to come for 3 months. Um, don't feel guilty about that. It's just something you need as part of your self-care. Yeah, so those are some of the things that work for me. So, I'm going to keep it short, but in closing, I really would like to say that you shouldn't be ashamed of your depressive episodes. It's something that's part of a broader journey in life, with self-acceptance, support from loved ones, and some of these coping strategies that I've given you that I think are quite practical. You can actually learn to navigate those episodes, and as time goes on, you will become more and more successful at not only recognizing them when they arrive, but also at switching into this sort of, self self-caring, self-compassionate person that just basically says, okay, right now I am a little bit fragile and I need to look after me. So I would say, embrace each episode as an opportunity for growth, as an opportunity for understanding. We all are very resilient people. And honestly, there is just so much hope, even in the darkest moments. Often, what is that saying? Um, yeah, you can always find a light to switch even in your darkest moments. I hope this talk has been helpful to you. And please let me know in comments if you'd like me to, delve a bit deeper into it. And I would also like to encourage you to actually subscribe to my channel if you want to stay updated, because basically what I like to do is discuss mental health and self-care. And I am not a professional. I am really talking from the standpoint of an everyday person who's going through life, navigating life's challenges and finding the light within the darkness. Thank you for joining me today. Have a beautiful, beautiful week, and I'll see you next week. Namaste.